On the night of March 30th, 1993, something breached British airspace. Something that has not been explained to this day. Dozens of observers, including the military and police, reported a mysterious flying object unlike any aircraft they'd ever seen. What or who was flying unchallenged over Britain that fateful night? This man has perhaps come the closest to finding the answer. In the early 1990s, Nick Pope was running a forgotten section of the Ministry of Defence. His job? To investigate reports of unidentified flying objects within British airspace. Most of what crossed Nick's desk were simple cases of misidentification. But then came the events of March 30th, 1993. That night, Nick Pope became the case officer for Britain's greatest UFO mystery. Restricted by the Official Secrets Act, he's been unable to convey exactly what he discovered. But thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, the inside story of this incredible event can now be revealed. For 3 years, Nick Pope ran a little-known section at the Ministry of Defence. It was a job few of his peers wanted.
Officially, I worked in a division called Secretariat Air Staff 2A. What that actually meant was I ran the government's UFO project.
Nick's job was a holdover from a bygone era. The single desk he occupied at Secretariat Air Staff 2A was all that remained of a once thriving Cold War department that investigated the new and mysterious phenomenon of UFO sightings. This was part of a global concern about UFOs. In 1950, the Ministry of Defence established a UFO task force called the Flying Saucer Working Party, following an initiative by the MOD's chief scientific advisor. It was short-lived, lasting only 10 months. Its final report stated, "We accordingly recommend very strongly that no further investigation of reported mysterious aerial phenomenon be undertaken unless and until some material evidence becomes available." Although the official line seemed clear, the British government continued to record and investigate UFO sightings.
Contrary to what a lot of people might understand by this, the British government has had a UFO project for decades. Since the Second World War, this subject has been taken extremely seriously by the government and the military.
When Nick Pope started in 1991, he was amazed by the numbers of sightings this unofficial department had collected.
I received about 200 or 300 UFO reports each year. But going back through the old files, it was clear that by the time I'd taken up my job, we'd had probably around 10,000 UFO reports.
For the 3 years Nick was there, an average of 5 reported UFO sightings crossed his desk every week. In most cases, Nick found a rational, reasonable explanation.
My job was not to prove the existence of UFOs at all. My job was to assess the UFO reports and satisfy the department there was no evidence of any threat, no evidence of anything of any defence significance.
To Nick's ruthlessly logical eye, only one of those 10,000 archived reports stood out as a genuine mystery: the Rendlesham UFO.
position here, in between the tree. There it is again. Hey, I see it too. What is it? We don't know, sir. Understand? Yellow? It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way.
You can hear almost the fear in their voices.
There is no doubt about it. This is weird. Okay, one right to the left. Keep the flashlights off.
Rendlesham Forest is situated between what in 1980 were the joint British and American air bases of Bent Waters and Woodbridge in Suffolk. On the morning of December 26, 1980, 2 US patrolmen reported seeing bright lights among the trees. 2 nights later, the lights returned.
The deputy base commander was a man called Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt. He'd heard about the UFO sightings, and he was sceptical. So he threw together a small team and went out into the forest. In his own words, he went out to debunk this whole UFO nonsense.
150 feet or more from the initial, I should say, suspected impact point.
As Colonel Holt moved into Rendlesham, he recorded his observations on audio tape. This is a copy of his actual recording.
We found a small blast, what looks like a blasted or scrubbed up area here. We get very positive readings.
Now this tape is incredibly dramatic.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we make a sweep?
Because it starts off fairly routinely with him describing moving through the forest.
Let me turn around and look at this tree over here now.
He's calm, he's collected, he's businesslike.
Okay, stop. Right on.
As things go on, he begins to get drawn into this event.
Hey, this is eerie.
He begins to get rather tense, perhaps a little excited.
This is strange. Here, someone want to look at the spots in the ground? Zero 148, we're hearing very strange sounds out of the farmer's barnyard animals. It's very, very active, making an awful lot of noise.
And then they see it.
It wasn't a pigmentation. You just saw a light where? Wait, no, slow down. Where? Right in this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flash right there. There it is. Hey, I see it too. What is it? We don't know, sir. So, can I get some of it? Yeah, it's a strange, small red light. Looks to be out maybe a quarter to half mile, maybe further out. I'm gonna switch off it. The light is gone now. It was approximately 120 degrees from the site. Is it back again? Yes, sir. Oh, douse the flashlights in. There is no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead. It's yellow. I saw a yellow tinge in it too. Weird. It appears to be maybe moving a little bit this way.
And at one point it begins to come towards them. You can hear the tension.
It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way.
You can hear almost the fear in their voices.
Pieces of it are shooting off. There is no doubt about it. This is weird. Okay, one right to the left. Keep the flashlights off.
They begin to describe the strange maneuvers of this craft.
Pieces were falling off it again. It just moved to the right. Yeah. Off to the right. Strange. Hey, here he comes from the south. He's coming toward us now. Looks like an eye winking at you. Still moving from side to side.
These witnesses were convinced that they saw a UFO. And as military personnel on an active Air Force base, they should know better than most the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. In the aftermath of the incident, many of these trained observers went to ground, claiming they'd been told to stay silent in the interests of national security. The American authorities handled the official investigation, and their report was never made public. As a result of that secrecy, UFO believers have long claimed that the Rendlesham Forest incident was an official cover-up. It was a fascinating story. But although the incident has entered into UFO folklore, Nick Pope believes that had the case been thoroughly investigated, an